Hi, my name is Hinek. I'm a trainee, a professional Japanese teacher. So today we're going to be learning some basic words that you can use to introduce yourself. Here we go. Okay, the first things first. When you meet someone for the first time, you always want to tell your name. So, watashi, it's watashi. Watashi means I, you, and I. And you want to conjugate this word by adding an affix. Affix means auxiliary verbs or particles. So, we want to add a hiragana at the letter ha. It's written ha, but when it comes to use this hiragana as an affix, we always read this hiragana as wa. So, watashi wa means I am. So, you want to put your name after watashi wa. Put your name here. Watashi wa. In this case, I'm going to draw my name. Watashi wa niku. But this doesn't make sense. If you want to add desu at the end of the sentence. Desu means nothing, but if you add this desu at the end of the sentence, you can always make the sentence polite. So, watashi wa niku desu means I am Nick. So, let's practice. Put your name in here. Okay, watashi wa desu. One more time. Watashi wa desu. Alright. But you want to add some phrases before you tell before you tell your name. So, konnichiwa. This means hello or hi or hey when you approach to someone, and it doesn't mean this word is for the greeting when you meet for someone new. And you can always say konnichiwa to anyone who already met or who's your friend or anyone. For example, if I say konnichiwa, watashi wa Nick desu, means hello, I am Nick. Now you can greet with someone. Okay, the next one is ohayou gozaimasu. It's a little long, right? But ohayou, this ohayou means early. So we want to say ohayou gozaimasu in the morning when you greet with someone. Ohayou gozaimasu means good morning. And konnichiwa, this is what we did, right? And konnichiwa means usually hello or hi or hey, but this is ohayou gozaimasu means good morning, and konnichiwa means also good morning, but it doesn't mean in the morning. You can use this konnichiwa in noon or something. So, for example, if you wake up at 9, you can say ohayou gozaimasu, but when you meet someone at 10 a.m., you can say こんにちは or おはようございます. At 11, you can say おはようございます barely, but we usually say こんにちは. And 12, it's not morning, it's noon, so こんにちは. But if you work at a Japanese company or anywhere in Japan, and when you go to the workplace and you say おはようございます in any time. For example, if your work schedule starts from 9 p.m., but you can say おはようございます because you go to the workplace for the first time in that day. So 9 p.m. or 12 a.m. or any time, you can say おはようございます at work. Okay, so こんばんは. Konbanwa means good afternoon. And we said おはようございます as good morning, and you want to say good night when you go to sleep. Oyasumi nasai. Or we want to say oyasumi if you want to say casual. Oyasumi. Nasai means nasai can conjugate the word into ordering to someone. So go to sleep or something like that. But we say ごめん、おやすみなさい as good night. So it doesn't mean impolite. It's actually polite. And this one is too. おはようございます. If you want to say casually, good morning, then you can say おはようございます. If you add ございます at the end of the sentence, you can make the sentence very polite. おはようございます. So, おはようございます means the polite way of saying good morning. And also this one, おやすみなさい is a polite way of saying good night. Okay, now you've got some words that you can replace this こんにちは. For example, if you want to say good morning, I am Nick, you can say おはようございます。私はです. It's a little weird, but you can greet with someone with that. Or こんにちは、私はです. Or こんばんは、私はです. When you want to make an approach to someone when you meet someone for the first time. And also you can replace this as saying はじめまして. はじめまして means nice to meet you. You want to say nice to meet you when you meet someone new, like, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Nick, or something like that. はじめまして。私はです. When you say はじめまして、私はです, it's a little too polite, but you can always say that because you want to be polite, especially when you're meeting when you're meeting someone for the first time. So, はじめまして. There's no other way to say nice to meet you. So, let's practice. Okay, the first one is this. こんにちは。私はです。This one. はじめまして。This one. おはようございます。And this one. こんばんは。Okay, and I'm gonna teach you the very useful phrase in everywhere you go. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. You use or hear this phrase everywhere you go. And if you want to know more about this phrase, you can check some of my videos in the past. So you can check it out from the description box below. So, よろしくお願いします. This means it's really hard to translate to other language because this is a cultural way to say, for example, it's pleasure to meet you or something like this. And yoroshiku means proper or well or something like that. And onegai means wish or hope or ask something. Then shimasu means nothing, but if you add shimasu at the end of a sentence, you can make the sentence polite way. There's many ways to make the sentence polite, but you don't have to be confused about this, okay? If you add よろしくお願いします at the end of a sentence, like はじめまして、私はニックです。よろしくお願いします。This is kind of a formula when you greet with Japanese people, especially when you meet someone for the first time. よろしくお願いします。Okay, so let's practice. Okay, はじめまして。私はです。よろしくお願いします。One more time. はじめまして。私はです。よろしくお願いします。Okay, so if you add よろしくお願いします at the end of the sentence, はじめまして、私はです。よろしくお願いします。This, when you say this formula, then you can end up the conversation, which is, if you don't say よろしくお願いします at the end of the sentence, that means you want to keep the conversation going. So, you want to say something like, you want to make some small talks with the someone who's meeting for the first time. And now you can greet with anyone. Okay, from now I'm gonna share some phrases that they likely ask you when you're meeting them for the first time. Okay, so the first one is どこ出身ですか? どこ means where, and 出身 means born and raised. So, where, born and raised, and ですか means the question form. So, if you add ですか at the end of the sentence, you can make the sentence in the question form. For example, if you say 私は肉ですか means am I Nick? It's strange, but that's the rule. Okay, so どこ出身ですか? It's asking. By the way, this is question mark. Okay, so where, born and raised? Question. It means where are you from? So it basically asking you your origin. So if you're from the United States, then you can say this form again. 私はです. You can add, for example, if you are born and raised in the United States, you can say 私はアメリカ人です. It means I am an American. Or you can say I am from America. We don't say United States. We say America, America. Okay, so I am from America. Then you can say 私はアメリカ出身です. Then you can say I am from America. 私はアメリカ出身です. Or you can say 私はアメリカ人です. It's asking your origin, but you can say I'm American. Or they might say 出身はどこですか? It means the same thing. 出身 means born and raised. どこ means where, and ですか is a question form. And what, this is affix, so it means is, or the be verb. So 出身はどこですか? These forms are exactly same meaning. Where are you from? Okay, so basically you hear 出身 in somewhere, then どこ in somewhere, then it means where are you from, and then you can answer like this. 私は人です. So if you're from Vietnam, then you can say 私は ベトナム出身です。Or you can say 私はベトナム人です。ベトナム人です。Okay. So, if you're from China, then you can say 私は中国出身です。私は中国出身です。or 私は中国人です。It's simple. The next phrase that they likely ask you is 何歳ですか 何 is what? Then 歳 means age. And ですか is the question form. So, what age? Question. It means how old are you? It makes sense, right? And most of Japanese people want to know your age because if you are 20 and if I'm 18, this age difference, this is a borderline when to use keigo. So if I'm younger than you, I should use keigo to you. Keigo means respectful language. So I have to show the respect to you if you are older than me. So we want to know your age. But in modern Japanese culture, we don't use keigo very much. Especially it's outside of the business scene. So we talk casually if you and I are friends. Okay? They want to keep some kind of like this information. So it's sometimes rude to ask your age, especially if you're a girl or in your culture, but bear with it, okay? So, 何歳ですか? If they ask 何歳ですか to you, you can answer 歳です。I'm 26, so 26歳です。I'm gonna share how to count numbers in Japanese in the future. So, 26歳です。If you are 30, then you can say 30歳です。But when you mention your age, this reads 20. But when it comes to describing your age, then it says 20歳. So if you're 20, 20歳です。20歳 means 20-year-old. But if you are 21-year-old, then you say 21歳です。You don't say 21歳です。No. 20歳 is the 20-year-old, okay? From 21 to older, then you say 21 or 31 or 32 or 40 or 41, 45, 46, something like this. Okay? So, these are the phrases that they likely ask you when you meet for the first time. Okay, now you can greet with Japanese people, and here's question of the day. What would you like to say when you meet someone new? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. ありがとう。